Hey, fourth grade, today we are going to be taking up 2 pages in our table of contents. So write the next 2 page numbers. For me, that's 26 to 27. It might be the same for you, it might be different, but write the next 2 page numbers. And today's lesson is called Module 3, Lesson 3, Area and Perimeter Word Problems. Pause your video now if you need to write the title in your table of contents, and then we'll get going. Today we are taking up 2 pages because we're going to be practicing 2 separate word problems. Word problems take room, so we're going to spread it out and give us lots of room to work with. Our objective is that I can solve multi-step, meaning there's more than one step, word problems involving area and perimeter. To review our vocabulary, remember that perimeter is the distance around the object. While our area is the stuff, air quote, that's inside. Take a moment, refresh your memory, and write those definitions in your notes as well. Whenever you're ready, we're going to start by reading our first word problem. Remember, if you want to be a beast at word problems, you got to start off as a cub, C-U-B, circling our numbers, underlining our question, and boxing our action words. Let's read through the first time without making any marks. Katie cut out a rectangular piece of wrapping paper that was 2 times as long and 3 times as wide as the box she was wrapping. The box was 5 inches long and 4 inches wide. What is the perimeter of the wrapping paper that Katie cut? I'm going to circle our numbers. That also includes their units if we're using measurements. Now I'm going to underline my question. What is the perimeter of the wrapping paper that Katie cut? Now it's time for us to search for those math action words. Those are clue words that tell us what we're going to be doing. Katie cut, I made a little slash because there is a typo there, out a rectangular piece of wrapping paper that was 2 times as long and 3 times as wide as the box she was wrapping. The box was 5 inches long and 4 inches wide. What is the perimeter of the wrapping paper that Katie cut? Now that I've circled, I've underlined, I've boxed, I have officially read my problem. It's time for us to draw. Here's Katie's box, not the wrapping paper, but the box that she's trying to wrap in the wrapping paper. Let's fill in some information that we know. We know from our story problem that the box is 5 inches long. So I'm going to plug in the number 5 to represent how long the box is. And we know it's 4 inches wide. Now that we know how wide and how long the box is, we can use that information to figure out how much wrapping paper she needs. We were told that she needs 2 times the length of wrapping paper and 3 times the width of the wrapping paper. So let's plug in our length and our width to see how much wrapping paper she'll need. 2 times 5 inches equals 10 inches. 3 times 4 inches equals 12 inches. Now that we know the length and the width of our wrapping paper, we can solve for perimeter. There's 2 different strategies for solving for perimeter. We can either use all addition and add our width plus our length plus our width plus our length to get our perimeter, or we can multiply 2 times the width plus 2 times the length. These are the same number sentences written differently. 2 groups of the width, 1, 2, plus 2 groups of the length, 1, 2. Let's try out using all addition. Our width is 12 inches, plus 10 inches, plus 12 inches again, plus 10 inches. Equals, instead of adding all 4 numbers at once, I'm going to instead add these two numbers together at a time and see what I can combine. 12 plus 10 is 22, plus another 22. 2 plus 2 is 4 ones. 2 plus 2 is 4 tens. So altogether, the perimeter of the wrapping paper is 44 inches. Let's try it again using multiplication and see if we get the same answer. 2 times our width, which is 12 inches, plus 2 groups of our length, which is 2, times 10 inches. Now let's solve for both multiplication sentences before we add them together. 2 times 12 inches is 24 inches. 2 times 10 inches is 20 inches. Now our number sentences don't match one another, but let's see if we get the same answer. 4 ones plus 0 ones is 4 ones. 2 tens plus 2 tens is 4 tens. And we get 44 inches both times. Now that we've read our problem and we've drawn our problem, let's write our answer. The perimeter of the wrapping paper was 44, don't forget your units, inches. Now we're going to flip our spread over so you're on the next page number, and we're going to solve for another multi-step word problem. Remember that perimeter is the distance around the object, and the area measures all of the stuff that's inside. Our last problem was a problem that had to do with perimeter. So let's see what this problem is having us work on. A rectangular towel is 3 times as long as it is wide. A rectangular rug is 5 times as long as it is wide. Both the towel and the rug have a perimeter of 48 inches. What are the lengths and the widths of the rug and the towel? Remember, if you want to be a beast at a word problem, you gotta start off as a cub. C-U-B. Let's circle our numbers and units. Underline our question. And box all of our important math action words. A rectangular towel is 3 times as long as it is wide. A rectangular rug is 5 times as long as it is wide. Both the towel and the rug have a perimeter of 48 inches. What are the lengths and widths of the rug and the towel? Let's think out loud for the towel, and I'm going to have you fix a typo that I made. The perimeter of the whole towel, your sheet says 24, let's cross out and fix it. The perimeter of the whole towel is 48 inches, meaning if we measured all the way around the towel, it would have a total perimeter of 48 inches. When I count around the towel, there are 8 equal lengths. Let's use reverse multiplication to solve for each length. How did I get 8 equal lengths to begin with? Remember that our word problem says that the towel is 3 times as long on one side as it is on the other. So if this side of the towel represents 1 length, the other side of the towel is 1, 2, 3 times as long. So I took a square and I repeated it 3 times to show that it's 3 times longer on this side. When I created all of these equal lengths, I drew tally marks to represent each of the equal lengths. And when I count them up, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It takes 8 equal lengths to have a total perimeter of 48. So how many groups of inches need to be in these 8 groups to have a total of 48 inches? 8 times what number equals 48. 8 times 6. That means that this is 6 inches. This is 6 inches. So is this. This is also 6 inches. And we can go through and label each side length 6 inches. So now let's figure out the length, and let's also figure out the width. Now looking at this, I know that it's 3 times as long as it is wide. So this is going to represent the length of the towel. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is our length. Or we could do the math fact, 6 times 3, which equals 18 inches. The width of the towel is only one length, and that is 6 inches. Now let's try it again. Let's use the same strategy for the rug. Start by figuring out the amount of equal lengths. Now, I gave you a rug to count up the equal lengths on, because remember that the rug is 5 times as long on one side as it is wide. So let's draw tick marks for each of our equal lengths. There's the 5 groups of them. All right, now let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 groups. To figure out how many inches are in each equal length, we're going to do reverse multiplication. 12 times what equals 48? 12, 24, 36, 48 is 4 groups, which means each of our equal lengths is 4 inches. Now that I've plugged in my 4 inches, I can figure out the length and the width. Just like in my last problem, I know we're used to seeing width sideways. We just needed to make room for really long rugs and towels. But I know that my longest side here is my length, because it's 5 times as long. So 5 times 4 is how many inches? 20. While our width is only going to be 1 equal length, which is 4. So let's plug in our sentences. The width of the towel, going back to the towel here, is 6 inches. The length of the towel is 18. The width of the rug is 4 inches. The length of the rug is 20. Now that we've finished both sides of our lesson today, you're going to go on to Seesaw and you're going to take a picture of your beautiful work. Congratulations, 4th grade.